Salutations, Imperial citizens and battle brothers. It's me, Brother Tobias, and I welcome you to this big ol' live stream. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, let's go, Ultramarines. Let's go. Salutations. We have so much to talk about. Thank you so much for all tuning in. Let's see, can I can take the YouTube chat and put it in a separate window, right? How did I do that again? I forgot. Before if I can't figure this out, I can't look at you guys live. That would be annoying. Salutations. Hello, Marius. Hello, Dan. On the Twitch side. Salutations, Jacqueline. We got Trev in here. Joe. Very nice to see you all. We will start out talking about the news relatively soon. I just want to figure out the setup here. Ignore the tabletop Herald. No, wait. Ignore the new recruit in the background while I stumble my way through to finding out how streaming works. Let's see. There was a way. Yeah, here we go. Pop up chat. That's how it goes. Here we go. All right. So we have some obvious news to talk about here. Let's look at that article. Ultramarines. Yeah, let's get that centered up. Here we go. Ultramarines. Let's talk about the news. We got an early birthday present today. Marneus Calgar and new Ultramarines prepare to defend Ultramar. There's a whole video trailer. I will not be watching that video on stream because of copyright, but I will show you some snippets of it in a second. Here we go. Marneus Calgar is a legendary hero who takes every opportunity to strike at the enemies of the Imperium with righteous fury. He's so eager to defend Ultramar, some of you may have recently seen him stepping into the breach. That's a reference to Space Marine 2. Well, he's not entering battle alone. And he's brought some awe-inspiring friends with him. So, clad in the armor of Antilochus, his iconic suit of Terminator armor, and wielding the gauntlets of Ultramar, Marneus Calgar is a force to be reckoned with. Here you can see him. Calgar is back. Here he goes. He's now wearing the Terminator armor, and this is actually what it was always like. Calgar and Honor Guard. If you check the old references here. Here we go. Just zooming in here for a second. This is the old unit. How it was in 4th edition. Yeah, I've been playing for a while. I had all of these models. I only own the Ancient nowadays. I think I lost all the other ones. But yeah, this is the old Marneus Calgar model. And you'll be seeing how close they got it compared to what it now looks like. So here we go. Marneus Calgar, Terminator armor. And then here we have the new model. So this is obviously the new bulkier design of Terminator armor. The one they put in the Leviathan box in the new release. So that's that. And yeah, he looks great. I think he could use more drip on this leg. I think it's I think if he had some trim, I would be like 10 out of 10 happy. I hope he can still have a helmet. I wish he still has a helmet. Not that I don't like our chapter master's beautiful face, but I always like putting helmets on my models. If there isn't a helmet, I will just put one in myself. So not the end of the world here, but yeah. It looks pretty good. I do like the belt, especially. This is my favorite part of the model, the little belt, because it looks so clean. I think the model and the belt, the card piece, it looks so clean over here. This brand new miniature recalls the classic Calgar many of you will remember from years past. I just said that, Games Workshop. Striding forward in a modernized design decorated with personal heraldry and honor markings. Yeah, here we go. Here we see his back, the shoulder pad, the golden one, really, really good. I can zoom in a little bit so all of you can see a bit better here. All right, so here we go. The Calgar model. Yeah, absolute unit of a model here. Here we go. Trev, you just finished painting Calgar. Terrified about the new model. I will be talking about that for a second because I think it's actually pretty interesting. So here we go. Look at the Ultramarine gauntlets, the gauntlets of Ultramar. I think it looks pretty great. Yeah, so this model looks perfect. I love it. Almost as famous as Calgar is Cato Sicarius. It is I, Cato Sicarius, an accomplished champion of the Ultramarines, and newly appointed captain of the Victrix Honor Guard. Here we go, Captain Sicarius. He looks amazing. Like I'm a certified Sicarius hater as a Uriel Ventress fan, but you can't deny the man his style, right? He looks really good. Love how he was perfectly recreated. His helmet has the old plume on it, as the metal model used to be. But he has the Victrix helmet. I hope that helmet is available separately to put on the head. It would be so cool if that was a thing. And yet he still has all of the fancy trim. He has this little brooch over here with the cords. Really pretty. The back banner. Vintage remains in style, as Cato's new miniature evokes the statuesque pose of the previous miniature, holding his ornate helm in one hand while raising his hilarious Talasarian. I have a Talasarian. Here we go. Tempest blade to the sky with the other. Yeah, pretty cool. He probably won't have a helmet, but I would love it. Oh yeah, he holds the cloak in his hand. That is actually really amazing. Yeah, I agree. This model looks really good. Honestly, this might actually look better than the Calgar model. Not that I don't like the Calgar model, but this is just peak design. Wearing suitably embellished MKX Tacticus armor, Kato also sports an all-important back banner featuring the heraldry of his chapter. He's got two choices of heads, one surveying the battlefield in typically stoic manner, the other mid-battle cry. So according to this text, I assume we will not get a helmet, but I hope we do. I hope. If not, maybe you can salvage your old Victrix Guard models, take their helmets, and then put the plume on it. Maybe that's a thing you can do. It wouldn't be proper to reveal the Lord McCrag without showing off his elite bodyguard, would it? Lucky Lee, we have got just the thing. Ta-da! There we go. Composed of First Company veterans, the Victrix Honor Guard are peerless warriors who serve as bodyguards for the chapter's highest-ranking officers. You know they're deadly if they're guarding the likes of Calgar. Here we go. So let's look at the first picture here. We have the chapter ancient wearing the glorious chapter banner. This is the banner we got commissioned after beating High Fleet Behemoth off of Ultramar. And we have the First Company Angel motive here, killing the Gene Stealer as a honor to the fallen First Company. We lost all of our Terminators in the defense of the homeworld, but we beat back the despicable aliens. Right here in the center, we have the Company Champion. So this is the Chapter Champion. So here we go. The Chapter Champion is actually the best combatant in the entire chapter. If you go just by skill, basically every company has a company champion who is the best combatant in that company, and the best company champion out of all the companies is the company champion of the First Company, who is therefore the Chapter Champion. Here we go in the lore. He has this little what's it called from the Custodes, the mitochondria, the dagger. He has like a parrying dagger, and we have a big power sword here, a gladius shaped sword, I would say, like a Roman gladius. And right over there we have a Victrix Guard looking helmet on a marine with a bolt gun and a power axe. This is a throwback people haven't seen A gladius? Yeah, I think it's called that, right? It's a Roman gladius. That's what the sword is called. That's what the sword is called. So here we go. And here we see the champions in full display. We have the mastercrafted bolt guns and the power axes. This is what they always wore before Primaris Marines came out. They also have that in Horus Heresy, where it's like doing the thing, doing the axe here, and they always had that even in Horus Heresy. And then the mastercrafted bolt guns. In Horus Heresy they had shields, and then in 40k with the Primaris they had both. So yeah, this new unit contains free honor guard with a bounty of interchangeable options, including greaves, helmets, and left arm options, wielding mastercrafted bolt carbines. One miniature can be built as a chapter champion, and another as the chapter ancient carrying the banner of Macragge. We reckon this might hold the record for the biggest flag in all of Warhammer. Seriously, check out how absolutely absurd this piece of ornately decorated fabric is. That's peak Ultramarines as far as we're concerned. So here we see the banner once again. Our remembrance remakes the past. Ultramarines. Here we have the 500 worlds of Ultramar in the thing. All of the icons. And then, of course, the 13 for the 13th Legion. Here we have the chapter champion. He has the same helmet as he did way back in the thing, with the laurels and the floof on top, the mohawk. And we also have this really cool looking ornate shoulder pad where the top is like power armor top, and then we have this like marble looking inscripted shoulder pad. So this guy looks so boss. Yeah, look at this sword. He looks really good. I was a bit worried because from this shot he looks a bit strange, but seeing him from the side, actually, like seeing the whole profile here, actually pretty good. I love this. This is great. As for what this means for the Ultramarines as for what this means for the Space Marines of the Ultramarines chapter, we'll have more news later in the year. Stay tuned to Warhammer Community for all the latest news. Everyone loves back banners, and if you can think of a bigger banner, hit them up on Instagram. So this is obviously really cool. Yes, it was in the old Firstborn Company Heroes box, Marius Gage. That is completely correct. Are we getting our own supplement? It is possible. I do not know. I have no idea, to be completely honest. I do not know. What we have over here though is we have the video where they introduce the thing. I will not play it for copyright reason, but yeah, you can see some stuff here, and here you can see the Calgar model in action. And I want to highlight something I noticed, and that is like in this shot of all the models here. So first of all, Calgar is with the company heroes. Now this could just be for dioramic purposes, but to me this symbolizes he can join the honor guard. I think he is allowed to join. Can you not watch along? Velrek does that. Yeah, but Velrek is also sponsored by Games Workshop, and I'm not. I'm just a guy in an attic recording a stream in the middle of the night. So yeah, we'll just play it safe, and that's what it is. So here you see a bunch of honor guard models, and you see 6 of them. So you see 6 honor guard models with Sicarius. So I have a feeling that this is actually a unit with modular squad size. So you can run a unit of 6 of them, and you can also just run a unit of 3 of them. So this would be the first time since the removal of the Tyrannic War Veterans that Ultramarines have a unit, not just a character, but like a unit. And that's honestly pretty interesting. I wonder if Kato and Calgar can join the same unit, because it would be lore accurate, but also it's like 2 characters in one. I don't know. And that's just what it is. And one other thing I noticed, and that is in the very back of the video, right here, you see 3 different boxes. So my initial theory was they would be selling Calgar with the Honor Guard in like one pack. And that's obviously incorrect, because you can see right here, they are packaged separately. So I assume Calgar can just join whatever, probably Terminator units, but I do believe he can join the Honor Guard because it would be such a waste if he couldn't. That would be a really strange thing if he couldn't join them at all. So yeah, maybe you can join all of your Ultramarine characters to the Honor Guard now, and you just run multiple units. I don't know. I hope they're as good as Company Heroes because Company Heroes turned out to be the best unit in Codex Space Marines. But yeah, as for what that means for a possible supplement or for any rules or whatever, I'm unfortunately unable to tell you. This just came out. I have no news. That's just kind of what it is. So how are you feeling, Battle Brothers? Anything else? 3x6 with one unit with banner and champ. That sounds pretty reasonable. You can take the champion and the chapter ancient once. That makes complete sense. Blade guard type unit with 2 characters. That makes complete sense. Yeah, maybe they can join a unit with the character. That would be pretty cool. Like basically they just take the existing Calgar thing and just put it into 2 separate things, but you can still do the thing you were supposed to do right now. That would honestly be pretty nice. I would like that. Free to fix song, yeah. Suspect the -1 to hit at least. That would be nice. Yeah, Kelly is saying, wondering if we get a new book for each chapter after balancing this mess. Probably. Yeah, obviously the Space Marine balance didn't go well in 10th, but it was even worse in 9th, so what do I know? It was even worse in 9th edition. So yeah, that's it. What does this mean about the existing Calgar model? So let's take a look at the Marnius Calgar miniature. So if we look at the existing Marnius Calgar model right here, right there he is. Yeah, let's look at the yeah, thanks ads. I didn't want to see you. Marnius Calgar and the Victrix Guard. Here we go. Can we just get? Here we go. So this is the current Marnius Calgar model here. So this model came out at the end of 8th edition, basically. Like, towards the end of 8th. So it wasn't Psychic Awakening, but it was Nihilus, which was like 2.5 months into 8th, I think. That's basically when it happened. It happened before the Codex. And this is when Calgar came out as a model. So this model is only like 7 years old. So it's not that old. Now, there are 2 things I want to mention. First is the Victrix Guard. I don't know if this is a popular opinion, and it's not my opinion. It is just something I heard. December 2018. Thank you, Marius. I have heard people complain that the Victrix Guard models don't look fancy enough. They have a very compact profile because they're like hunched behind the shield. They have this cloak covering like 90% of the silhouette of it, and they're not that big because they were like a bit older and they were like scaled differently. So they don't look that Primaris on first glance. So, and they don't have many like details on the actual armor and stuff. So you have the Crucius on the kneecap, you have the very fancy shield and helmet, of course, but you don't have like trim and stuff. Not that much bling. So again, this is not my opinion. Just I have heard people say that the Victrix God models are not that good looking. So maybe this is a push for Games Workshop to replace them. I have a different opinion. I do believe you will be allowed to play both versions of Marnius Calgar, and here's why. Let's get this going. Oh, didn't want to watch a video. Can we just look at the image? Here we go. Marnius Calgar is in Space Marine 2. And the Death Watch was in Space Marine 2. And if Games Workshop resurrected the Death Watch from getting that entire faction back into manufacturing, I don't believe they would kill the current Marnius Calgar model completely, based on the fact you can see it in the most successful Warhammer game ever made. That's what I believe. Any thoughts on this, Battle Brothers? Tycho got two versions for a while, that's true. Yeah, I obviously assume there will be some text that you can run both Calgars at the same time. But maybe they're doing something like the Calgar you see on screen right here. Like this Calgar, he cannot join the new battle, the new honor guard. He can only join the old units he can join right now. And maybe the new one, the Terminator Calgar, can only join the new honor guard or something. I don't know. Maybe they can do something. The box's name as well is a big hit. Yes, it says Marnius Calgar in Armor of Antilocus. That is a very good point, Dan. So old 2-man protection unit, maybe it could be a thing. And Calgar and Victrix will be different units, possibly, but then you would have to put the shields into the new box, because if you don't, you would have the two old models that wouldn't do anything. Obviously, a very interesting topic to talk about. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's coming. I always like new models, of course, and of course they're hitting me right in my childhood when whenever they release the models I used to play with as a little scout when I was just starting out the Space Marine and training, and then I do get like a remake of the things I used to love, and that's what it is. Here we go. Okay. Missed running Terminators so much. Maybe he will make Terminators playable. Maybe just this once. Fingers crossed for new Terminators here. All right. So, second point on the agenda. We are doing a little bit of a celebration, because if we take a look at this right here, you can see it right here. The Brother Tobias YouTube channel has broken 1,000 subscribers. I actually did it. I didn't know it would happen. I've been running this channel more or less actively. Let's be real, I'm not uploading daily. But I've been running this channel since the beginning of 9th edition. Basically, most of my older videos are unlisted because I don't want to have content about 8th edition and 9th edition on my YouTube channel. But some people might still remember me making a battle report about Thousand Suns back in the day. So yeah, this is obviously something that's gonna happen. And for this purpose, I've actually prepared something. And I hope I don't break everything by putting this up on screen. We're doing a little Q&A. I once collected a bunch of questions, and I have sorted through most of them, and I have made a little Q&A, and I'll be answering the 10 most frequently asked questions live on stream. And that's what we're gonna do right now. All right. Question 1. Who the hell is Brother Tobias? Who are you? Or the actual most frequently asked question, who? Well, it's me. Hi, hello. I'm Brother Tobias. I'm a Space Marine player. I play Warhammer 40k competitively. Ever since 10th edition, I have actively started to attend large tournaments like majors and grand tournaments. And I produce video content about the Ultramarines specifically. That's what we're doing over here. I started the game in 3rd edition, so it's been a long time. And I will be answering more about that in a separate question later. I started playing tabletop games with Warhammer Fantasy, and basically after Warhammer Fantasy got killed, and after the sixth and seventh edition of 40k was really bad, I stopped playing Warhammer, and I got invested into some other hobbies. But basically, most of the hobbies I ever engaged with, which was I played War Machine, I played Guild Ball. That was a fun summer for like 2 months. I played competitive Pokemon, and I also played Magic the Gathering. Actually, I played Magic the Gathering for almost 10 years. Sometimes concurrent to to 40k. Sometimes I played Magic, just Magic, because I stopped playing 40k, and then Magic got pretty bad in terms of like single player 60 card Magic, and I dropped out of that, and that's when I found back into Warhammer 40k, and that's basically where we are right now. So if you're interested in this guy right here, this goofball, you're in the right place. Question 2. Which players slash creators are your inspiration? My first videos I made on the channel were actually inspired by RevCard Z. RevCard Z is a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber, and he made a series called Yu-Gi-Oh from Scrap, in which he made a completely new Yu-Gi-Oh deck for competitive tournament play by just playing booster packs, the way you're supposed to do it. And I got inspired by that, and I made a series called 40k from Scrap, and I basically did the same thing. I wanted to buy a starter box of stuff and then work my way up into a tournament army. I did that in 9th edition, and I also did it in 10th edition. You can still see the 10th edition videos on my channel. They're a bit older, I got a bit better at editing, but yeah, that's basically where it all started. And I stopped doing that now because I can't just buy a completely new Ultramarine army every time a new edition launched. I had a plan to do that again when the Emperor's Children launch came out, but unfortunately, my Emperor's Children pre-order got delayed from April till the beginning of September. So I actually didn't have Emperor's Children models until like 3 weeks ago. I can finally play Emperor's Children now, and I'm doing that on the side a bit, but I haven't made videos about that. How about why don't you tell me? Would you like to see some Emperor's Children content on the YouTube? Tell me if you would be interested in that. Another, obviously, players who are my inspiration are, of course, John Lennon from Out of War. He is by far the best Space Marine player in the entire world. I also really like Ines Wilson, and I try to learn a lot from watching those titans play in international tournaments, world championships. It's the reason why I've been subscribed to the Art of War for almost a full year on the most expensive tier for this part, because I really like getting those tactical insights to improve my own gameplay. And I think it worked because I've done really well this year. I think this is the most successful I've ever been, which is interesting because the game is actually way harder than it used to be. Back in 8th and 9th edition, I was crushing tournaments because they were so much smaller in scale, and the competition wasn't as skilled as it is nowadays. If you go to a super major right now, you will not get a weak game, most likely. You will get a really, really difficult game. And that's basically what it is. Yeah, are those tiers worth it? I would recommend you give the free trial a shot. You can always subscribe to the Art of War for 3 days for free, and then you can just cancel the trial. And if you like it after 3 days, stay on it. And if it's not for you, I'm not sponsored by them, then just quit it. I can't tell you what to do. For me personally, I found it incredibly helpful. And there's actually a second content creator I want to shout out as a big inspiration, and that content creator is actually Wolf Glick. For those of you who don't know, Wolf Glick is a Pokemon YouTuber, and he is the world the 2016 Pokemon World Champion, and he has been making videos ever since like we were the same age back in the day. Like when I was like 14, he was making Pokemon stuff, and he was going to tournaments and stuff, and right now his channel is really really big, and his videos are so well made. His editing, like the way his editors make the videos, how he writes the scripts, how he the way he teaches people about how it works. It almost makes me forget why I don't like Pokemon anymore. But I always love watching his video because I think the way he approaches a competitive game in terms of determination, but also sportsmanship and the mindset he wants to teach you as the viewer, it is nothing short of inspiring. So yeah, this would be my answer. I really like John Lennon, and I like Wolf Glick, just from the content creator side. That's basically what it is. And question number 3, actually the most asked question in total. Will you make videos about salamanders, about Raven Guard, about Blood Angels, about you know what it is, right? The answer is no, with an asterisk. So again, this is an Ultramarines channel. I want to make Ultramarine videos. So if you are interested in Ultramarine specific competitive experiences, you can always come to Brother Tobias, and it will be the channel for you. I'll be talking about Ultramarines. I want to teach you how to play Ultramarines, how to use the double oath, and how to not get Gilliman killed by one grenade every single game, and then fail your free up revive. That's just how it is. Now, there's a new detachment coming out for Raven Guard, and it is very similar to the old Vanguard. And I do think it is actually better than the old Vanguard, but I cannot play any of the Ultramarine characters in that detachment. And that's really sad, because I really want to play it. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I will probably not do that unless I'm feeling like it. So expect a Raven Guard video potentially in the future, because I just love the Vanguard so much, but I can't hold back. I need to play the Vanguard, but I want to stay a primarily Ultramarine focused channel. You found my channel by watching Blood Angels Commander. He's like my channel, but for Blood Angels. And oh, that's really cool. For the Blood Angels. Tell him I said hi. Really like his videos too. Blood Angels are really cool. A bunch of my friends play Blood Angels, and notoriously, I have never blamed Blood Angels for any of the mishaps of the Ultramarines. When Jump Pack Intercessors went up by 10 points because of Blood Angels, I didn't complain. And you know why, chat? Because the Blood Angels, they stay in their own detachment. They always have. You know who doesn't stay in their own detachments? The goddamn Dark Angels. Hate the Dark Angels. They ruin everything. Fire Discipline died because of Blood Angels. Never forget. Question number 4. How do I best use stratagems in 40k? How should a new player approach stratagem combos, and how should you value stratagems on the game? This is probably a very complex question, and one I could make an entire video about. But I will just try to say whatever comes to my head right now. So number 1. Obviously, there's the very surface level stuff. So most of the time, using a stratagem on a big unit with a character gives you more value for the command point spent. Because if you spend 1 command point to buff 5 models instead of paying 1 command point to buff 10 models, that's obviously a lot worse. So you obviously, most of the time, want to use your stratagems on your big brick units. Or your big vehicles instead of your scouts. That said, that obviously depends on the stratagem. There's always the opportunity cost on when do you spend a command point, because you only get about like 11 of them per game that matter, because The last command point on turn 5 probably never matters in a actual game that was like more or less decided on turn 3 or 4. So you always have to think about when do you spend a command point, when should you spend more than one command point for like a stratagem combo. And in my opinion, I always like to use stratagem when the math is on my side, basically. So if a Doomsday Arc shooting a Redemptor Dreadnought in cover has like a 40% chance to kill me, I like to pop Armor of Contempt in this case. If there's because I can survive that now. Now I probably survive it like 25% of the time. That is a noticeable increase to get something that lasts, which is if I can protect an asset completely and keep that asset alive, it is so much more valuable than having a dead asset. A Redemptor Dreadnought on 2 wounds is a lot more important than a Redemptor Dreadnought that's in your bin, on your movement tray, because you had to pull it off the board. So that's one thing. But I would never use a stratagem if there were like 2 Doomsday Arcs shooting at my ballistas and one of them hasn't shot yet. That is the point where I just cut my losses. The Dreadnought is dead, and I will focus using my command point to actually kill the Doomsday Arcs that just exposed themselves. That's basically how I would approach it. So always do the mental math. Is it worth to spend the command point here? Like, if Marnius Calgar charges 5 Striking Scorpions, do you really need to spend a command point on Honor the Chapter? You can probably save that for another turn. And to do something else, obviously. Yeah, if you want to know more about stratagems, please leave a comment or a chat comment, and I will be making something about that as a dedicated video. Excuse me, having a sip of water here. Question 5. How did the Ultramarine parking lot do against Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights? It actually did really well. So if you followed along with my internet presence, if you will, I went 4-1 at the Krefeld Major, and I played against Chaos Knights twice. I also did a practice game into Knights, and I also played against Chaos Knights at an RTT with a really bad list and lost. How those games went, I will be telling you in the dedicated Super Major Battle Report, but that video is not out yet. I'm still working on it. I've been editing it. I have recorded the tabletop simulator stuff. I have written the script, but I still need to voice the script and then tack it all together in editing. That's basically how far I got recently. So yeah, I look forward to that. I will still release it, even though there's a new data slate out, and the list is now invalid by 40 points. But it's not the end of the world. I think you should still you should hold out, and it will still be a useful video for you to watch. Question 6. What chapter is the best in Gladius? It's us. Woo. Obviously, it's the Ultramarines. The Ultramarines are the best chapter in general, but they're also the best chapter in Gladius. Now, that said, it is a lot closer than it was 6 months ago. So at the beginning of the edition, we were actually like one of the worst chapters in Gladius, because Black Templar and Dark Angels just had better units, and we didn't get anything. Then we got the big Oath buff, and now we actually have some competition after the Ultramarine nerfs. Space Wolves are pretty good. Space Wolf Terminators are really good unit for MSU and for bricks. And the Space Wolf Terminators, they do work. As well as Thunder Wolves and all of the Space Wolf characters. Even their battle line with OC 3 and Movement 7, they're pretty solid. So yeah, Space Wolves actually have a pretty good Gladius. And there's also Black Templars. Black Templars just came out, and according to Ben Hucklander from Germany, they're actually pretty good. They're actually not bad at all. Black Templar have some really, really good units, and those units are probably better than the +1 to wound on Oath, but they are very expensive in points, so it's a bit of a trade-off. So I do think Ultramarines are still the best Gladius, but now we have some competition. You can totally play a Black Templar or a Space Wolf Gladius and do perfectly well with it. Question 7. What did the Repulsor Executioner ever do to you? The Repulsor knows what it did. Question 8. Do you only play Ultramarines? If not, what other armies do you play? I actually play a lot of armies. I rarely talk about it on YouTube, but I talk about it a lot on the Discord and the various Discords I'm a part of. I have essentially every Chaos army in existence except for Chaos Knights. Now, granted, my World Eaters are still in the box. I have a shelf over here, and they're all on the shelf in boxes, but I do own World Eaters. Yeah, I play Emperor's Children, I play Death Guard, I play Thousand Suns, I play Chaos Space Marines, and I also play Chaos Demons. So I have every single Chaos army available to me. One of my best friends, my brother, he plays Custodies and Orcs, and I like to borrow his Custodies and Orcs sometimes to play with them, and that's always a bit fun. I always like that, having a bit of fun. But yeah, for the most part, especially in terms of competitive tournament play, I only play Ultramarines. I have never taken an army other than Ultramarines to a GT level event, unless you're counting like 8th edition, when a GT was allowed to have like 3 rounds. Because there were no like rules for it. That's when I played Thousand Suns a bit. But yeah, I actually got like second place at a GT in 9th edition with Thousand Suns. But it was like so far away and so niche. It was like we were like 30 people at like a GT. That's not a lot, but yeah, obviously that's something that happened. But yeah, that's basically it. I mostly play Ultramarines, but I do own a lot of other armies. Question 9. Sometimes and often not really a question. Here's my list, please fix it. Do you mind looking at my list? Or a very eloquent list, please. So there are different answers for most of these. Do you mind looking at my list? Or here's my list, please fix it? Absolutely. Always feel free to send me your list. Write a YouTube comment. Tag me on the Ultramarine Discord. Just do whatever you want and get me involved, and I will be looking at your list like on the same day, pretty much. I might not look at it like right away because I'm still busy, but I will be looking at it. Just tell me your list. Ask me what you're wanting to do with it. Do you want to play with your friends? Do you want to play at a little RTT? Are you aiming for like a super major? I can answer all of these questions. Just show me your list. Tell me what your idea was, and I will be giving you my input to improvement. I know there are a bit of a mixed results. A lot of people were happy with my Gladius adjustments, but not a lot of people were happy with my Vanguard. I think Michael really hated the Desolation Marines, and I understand him. I didn't like them either, but yeah, that's what it is. Last question. Question number 10. What's your biggest piece of advice for a new player? A player who's just starting out with 40k, especially competitive 40k. My big suggestion is just have fun. Just go to your tournament, join a club. If there's a club in your area that regularly meets and they organize tournaments, or they always go to tournaments together, join a club. My club, the Canis Belli, have been so beautiful to me. They have been so nice. We have been organizing our events for like so long. I always go to my big major events with them, and it's so much fun to travel with your clubmates and then attend the tournaments together, talk with them about the game, and then when you lose or when you win, you can share in the frustration, and that's my biggest piece of advice. Get yourself a group of people who think like you. Join up with them, and even if you're not John Lennon himself, it's completely fine. Just have fun with the game. Be a good sportsman. Don't tell your opponent after they forgot to do an action because they shot a bolt pistol that they can't do that anymore. Just be a good person. I always try to be very very accommodating if possible, within reason, of course. And that's my biggest piece of advice. And that concludes the old PowerPoint. I do hope we had a good time on this little adventure here. And that's how it goes. A weekly show doing that could be pretty nice. You got a GT coming up and you keep losing, so you could lose some pointers. Honestly, yeah, that would be cool if I could get that done on a bit more of a regular basis. Let's get something good looking here in the thing. So yeah, a piece of advice for everyone watching: you can always reach out to me in the Ultramarine Discord. Search for the Realms of Ultramar. There's a link in the description if you're not a member already. Join the Discord. You can always tag Brother Tobias, and I will be looking at if you tell me, hey, I found you because of the videos or something. I always am so happy to read that. I'm always happy if you ask me, hey, what do you think about the Redemptor Dreadnought? Do you think it's playable? And then I can give you an answer, like live in person. You can also send me a direct message or an email, but I would prefer if you do that with the same name you used to make your YouTube account, or before sending me the private message, please send me a message or a comment somewhere else and tell me you're about to send me a message, because I don't like opening direct messages on Twitter or Discord from like people I've never seen before, because it could just be like a spam bot or something, and I just decline. If you add me as a friend, I will probably just decline unless you tell me it's coming, basically. So just tag me, and then afterwards I know it's you, and then we can talk in private. That's basically all I'm asking for. Yeah, so yeah, join the Realm of Ultramar if you're not there already, and I'll always be down talking with you. So, is there anything else we want to talk about? We did spend almost an hour here. I would like to go over a little thing here, and that thing is lists, actually. So let's talk a bit about list building. I'm opening up new recruits right this instant. Here we go. And we can look at some of my lists. I named them very creatively. Shoutouts to Emperor's Children list number 3, titled No Balls. And that's just what it is. Here we have so many Ultramarine lists. They're obviously not updated right now, but let's talk a bit about the Ultramarine Gladius and what I've been doing and thinking. So first of all, the Ultramarine Gladius I took to the Krefeld Super Major went up by 50 points, because 20 points on Robute Gilliman, he's now 340. And we also went up 10 on the Ballistus Dreadnought, so it's now 150 for each individual Dreadnought. So what were my changes to the list? Honestly, it is pretty important, because as I was talking about in my Data Slate reaction, the loss of Challenger cards is a big deal. You now have to play an actual game of 40k, which means my strategy of just taking incursors to kill your opponent faster isn't that important anymore. Because with Challenger cards in the game, I never wanted to score victory points. I just wanted to kill my opponent and then not worry about them drawing Challenger cards, and I would just win at the end of the game, after I killed all of their models with my Vindicators and Oath. That's basically what happened. So now you actually have to score points again. And for that, I think the easiest change I've made to the list, I replaced the Infiltrators with an Intercessor squad. You're giving them a Power Fist. You're giving them the Auxiliary Grenade Launcher. And that's basically what it is. And then you have a Scout squad. I always liked my usual loadout of Shotgun, Heavy Bolter, and Chainsword. That's what I usually give my Scouts. And then we have an Invader ATV. So we lost the Infiltrators and the 2 units of Incursors, and we have to downgrade them into Intercessors, Scouts, and an Invader ATV. But in terms of like actual gameplay, the list is more or less the same. You still play the same game of 40k. You drive around the board with your 2-up safe armor vehicles and you just shoot people. And with Knights and Death Guard getting worse, and also Thousand Suns, which were like a bad matchup, this is actually really good for us. I think Ultramarines are not that bad right now. There's also a different avenue I would like to explore. I haven't prepared a list yet, but we can just throw something together real quick. So let's go Ultramarines, and we call it a Attack Gladius, which stands for Take All Comers. So one thing we can do, we go to 2,000 points, no allies, and we go to Gladius. With the point drop on aggressors and the Land Raider Redeemer, I think you can try and do something towards the style of Oath of old Gladius, way before Double Oath Gilliman happened, and way before Gilliman got like cheap, and way before we had +1 to wound Oath. Like if you do something like Gilliman, you're taking like a captain in Gravis armor with the Artificer armor. You're taking an Apothecary Biologist. You're giving him the Fire Discipline enhancement for sustained hits 1. And then you bring like an aggressor squad of like 10 aggressors with the frag storms. Excuse me, 6 aggressors. You take like 6 aggressors with the frag storms, and then you play a Land Raider Redeemer, and then you back that up with a bunch of stuff, and then you play. So here we go. Let's get a Land Raider Redeemer in here. Let's get a Land Raider Redeemer in here. Let's get like some backup firepower. I think I like the Predator Annihilator now, but yeah, we can take like, I don't know, we can take like 1 Predator Annihilator. It's like our long-range anti-tank shooting platform. We can take the double Vindicator still. Or we can, yeah, we can take a Stormspeeder Hammer Strike. Like the Hammer Strike is in, we take a unit of Inceptors. Or Eradicators or something, and then just a bunch of like Assault Intercessors with jump packs. It's like skirmish units. Yeah, even if I don't finish this list like right here, this is just like an idea we have. 2 Brutalis are good. Salutations. Excuse me, I can see your name. The Prime Nerf. The 2 Brutalis are good. The Brutalis is not bad. I personally don't play it, but yeah, it's the Prime Nerf. Yeah, I think the Brutalis Dreadnought is like not terrible. I'm not the biggest fan of it because I prefer Assault Intercessors, but yeah, the Brutalis is fine if you want to run like one of them. Like if we just throw it in here, like let's throw in a Brutalis Dreadnought. You run 2 with a Tech Marine. Are you playing Ironstorm or Gladius? That's what I would be interested in hearing. So here we can go like the Fists and Bolt Rifles, Twin Multi-Melter. We have 2 units of JPI, and then we add like 1 squad of Infiltrators. Like right here, we add 1 squad of Scouts, 1 squad of Incursors, and we still have like 140 points left, so maybe we add the Lone Op Lieutenant to have like another scoring piece here, Lone Op with Combi Weapon. That leaves us 70 points. So we can either go with a second Scout squad, or maybe we consolidate some of this for like... oh, actually, we can do the cool thing. We can run a unit of Stern Guard veterans with a regular captain and an Impulsor. And then maybe we cut like 1 squad of JPI. We cut like the Storm Speeder, something like that. And that's just kind of what it could be. And then we have like this melee missile we used to play way back in the day. There you go. You have Raven Guard, Imperial Fists, and Salamanders. Very cool. The Prime Nerf. You can whisper me at the M on Twitch. No problem at all. I just said it on stream earlier ago. if you send me a DM on like social media platforms, please give me a little post in public to tell me who you are, so I don't believe you are a spam bot by accident. So if I recognize your username, completely fine, no problem at all. And I would be happy to look at your list. Just keep in mind, I'm not a I'm not a dedicated Salamanders or Imperial Fists player. I am a Ultramarines player. That's what it is. Don't use social media. That's very wise of you, obviously. Only Discord mainly. Amazing. You can find me in the Realm of Ultramar Discord if you ever feel like talking to other Ultramarine players about this kind of thing. I can give you the link right here. Oh wait, that's not trying to copy a link. Can I do it? This is annoying. And this should do it. All right. So yeah, if you want to join the Ultramarine Discord, it would be very kind. Anyway, Battle Brothers, I've had a lot of fun talking to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing to me in the thousands. Very kind of you. I'm really grateful for all of 1,000 of you. We managed to get the entire chapter stocked up. All the Ultramarines are subscribed to Brother Tobias. The GT stream will come soon, and obviously, as soon as we learn a few new details about the rules that are coming up, we will be streaming about those too. With that said, Ultramarines, courage and honor!